Good afternoon. It is Saturday the 3rd of May. It's just coming up to not far off to 2 o'clock. I was wanting to come out a little bit earlier today, but I couldn't be faffed, to be honest. Just turned my seat off this morning. Yes, obviously came out yesterday, done that little bit of an Uber shift. It was crap as usual on a Friday. Got home, was in bed for about 11, but then I was up at 2. I had the private job, which was Liverpool to Manchester Airport, and then by the time I got back in and finally got back into bed, it was like 7 o'clock or something. Not because of the job, it's just because once I got home, you know, you're sitting there and you're watching telly and you're doing bits and bobs. So then yeah, I just didn't have the will. Like, I wanted to try and come out for about midday, like I did last Saturday. You know, because I done 14 hours then and I got like 350 last Saturday. But yeah, it's just hard to find the will to come out and do Uber, to be honest, at times. If it would have been a weekday, there's no way I would have come out today. Yeah, so the only reason I've come out is because it's Saturday. That is the sole reason. So yeah, I'm going to log on, see what's happening. But yeah, I've got where are we? Yeah, I've got another private job again tomorrow morning. I've then got another one on Monday morning. So yeah, it's kind of like I said, if it was a weekday I wouldn't have come out. But yeah, I'll see what happens anyway. I'll try and be as positive as I can. But it's yeah, I'm fighting it at the minute. It's just I tend to be basically doing Friday and Saturday on Uber because it's just so quiet. It's just painful to do. I have just signed up to, I don't even know what they're called. Was it Vizu or something? I've seen they've been buying up everyone left, right and centre. Yeah, they've been buying up all sorts of companies left, right and centre all over the northwest and everything. I think they've just started operating, is it in Liverpool or something, or Manchester? So I've gone on and registered with them because I'm registered with St Helens, and it comes up saying Britannia St Helens, so you're able to, you know, to select the county or the town or whatever that you work for. Just to see what comes of that, really. If anything, I'd rather start like trying it on board now, because it asks you to upload obviously your badge, your plate, your insurance, your MOT, a bit like Uber. So yeah, I'd rather try an onboard now, which then gives me that option should it become available, rather than waiting for the masses to then start onboarding kind of thing. Because yeah, they're obviously just going to start competing with Uber, and the only way they'll be able to compete is by taking less commission off the drivers. That's the only way they'll be able to onboard drivers, really. Because if they're just doing the same thing as Uber and they're just driving the prices down for the customer, which obviously they're going to have to do to get to get customers, but they're lowballing the drivers as well, then obviously the drivers will just stay with Uber. So yeah, they're going to have to offer some sort of incentive to try and entice the Ubers over. So yeah, it might end up being the first time I actually start multi-apping, because it's not something that I've ever done. I've seen a lot of other drivers working for, like, you know Delta or whatever, and they're also Ubering at the same time. So yeah, I'll see what happens with that anyway. I've signed up to that, so I'll see what happens. So yeah, I'll give you another update in about an hour or so. And so first hour in, and yeah, a little bit of a disaster up to now. So took the first job. It was like 10 to 2, I think I started. Took the first job. It was probably like, what was it, 10-15 minute drive away. It was like Banks, which is like the outskirts of Southport. It was supposed to be going into Southport. I think it was like £11 or £12, something like that. So it wasn't the greatest, and it was supposed to take about half an hour. But again, I thought, well, you know, if I find something else just after that, you know, I might be on like 25 quid for the hour or something. So anyway, I accepted the job, started driving over, and then a message pops up from the rider, and it says, I don't know if it's the predictive text or broken English, or I don't know what it was. It says, taxi required at 3:30 today, please. And I'm thinking, well, it's 10 to 2 and you've booked an Uber now. So I'm thinking, like, do they not understand, like, how Uber works? Or so I thought, well, I'll message them. So I messaged them back and said, like, where's the other screenshot of the text? Oh, I think it's gone. They then sent another message before I pulled over saying, please confirm my number is blah blah blah, thanks. So I pulled over and I messaged back. I said, oh sorry, I said if you wanted to come at 3:30, obviously you'll have to cancel this one and either schedule one for 3:30 or book one at 3:30. I said, because if otherwise, like, I'm going to be with you in, I think it was 12 minutes. So then sat there for a couple of minutes, nothing. So I just carried on heading towards the job, and then they messaged back saying, cancel job. So I'm thinking, like, again, are they being rude? Like, cancel job, like you do it? Or is it like broken English? I'm not sure. So I messaged back and I said, no, you have to cancel a job. I don't have the option to cancel a job, which you do to a degree. So if you accept the job, you can cancel a job, but every reason in the drop down menu, it's the driver's fault. Like, I feel tired, the job's not worth doing, but basically every excuse is it's down to the driver. There's only one option there that says rider behaviour, but obviously you can't cancel on the grounds of rider behaviour because you haven't even got to the rider yet. You know, it's like, you know, it was 12 minutes away. It's a bit different if they message you and start swearing at you in the message, then you can cancel it on them grounds, and then if Uber wants to pull you up on it, you can say, well, look at the messages, you know, they've been effing and jeffing at me. But that's not the case. So you cannot cancel unless you take the rap for it, basically. And I thought, well, I'm not cancelling it because my cancellation rate is 0%. So I'm not having that go against me. So I thought, well, I'll just carry on driving there slowly. They're going to cancel it. They'll realise what's happening. And they never. So basically I got all the way over to Banks. I was on like this, it's like a static kind of like caravan holiday home site. Pulled in, said, it's notified the rider. So I sat there for 5 minutes, nothing, cancelled the job and got the whole £3.25 for it. And I was like, £3.75. I thought there was nothing else I could do. So then turned around, I thought I'll start heading back towards Ormskirk, because at this point it was saying Ormskirk was surging. My hay fever's killing me, so you'll have to excuse me. So I started heading back there, and then lo and behold, you start heading back. The app sees you heading back, so it says, oh no, I'm not surging anymore. So then a little job come up, £7.52, the 3-minute job going 1 mile. But bearing in mind I was a couple of miles away, that's why I was being offered a better rate. So I accepted that. That was just the train station, dropped the lady off. And then I had another little job round the corner. £5.40, it was a 5-minute job. Going 1.7 miles, just taking a lady to B&M to work. I then got a job as I was dropping her off, which was the road next to the retail park. £6.52, it was a 10-minute job, 2.7 miles, which was coming into like Ormskirk town centre, which is where I am now. So yeah, I've just dropped them off. £2 cash tip as well. So on the app I'm on 23. I didn't even realise it was 23. Yeah, so it's not too bad then. £23.19 plus the £2 cash tip, so I'm on like just over 25 quid for the first hour. It's slightly more than I thought it was, to be honest. I thought I was on about 18 quid or something. So yeah, a bit crappy, and like I said, as soon as I logged on this morning, it's just a bit of a pain, and these are the type of customers you're dealing with. Like, why not? The thing is, they could have booked it, I've told them to cancel it. They can cancel it for free, it's not going to cost them anything, but they want to arse the drivers round. The last time I had that was last year. It was a Saturday, it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. A guy books an XL for Skem, and I took it because it was like a really good rate. I think it was like 30 quid for like 4 miles or something. So I set off, and he messages me and he says, oh sorry, I don't need you until 3 o'clock. And I said, well, it's 2 o'clock now, I'm going to be with you in like 15 minutes, I can't dawdle. So like, I didn't want to cancel it because it was a good rate. And he said, yeah, I've been trying to book an XL, but none of them are coming up. And it's finally just matched me with you, but it's saying, now obviously you're on your way, but I don't need you till 3. I said, well, you'd have to schedule one. And he said, well, if I schedule one, it's nearly double the price. And I was like, well, exactly. So we had to cancel it in the end. So like, passengers are like booking you and then basically saying, then specifying the time. And it's like, it doesn't work like that. If you want to specify a time, you have to schedule it and you have to pay the higher price. So yeah, that was obviously annoying. You know, I probably wasted the best part of half an hour driving there, waiting, and then driving to the next job for £3.75. After that first job where they cancelled on me, a job popped up, which is the biggest job that I've seen since doing Uber, which is August. It was an X job, collection from Bearscough, so it was about 5 miles away. It was going to Coventry, so obviously just kind of east of Birmingham there. I was too busy laughing really to take in all of the information initially. Obviously I didn't accept it. It was offering £148.28. It had to go 5 miles to pick the customer up, and then it was saying it was 121.3 miles. So you're looking at about 125 miles. And it's saying to pick them up and go and drop them off, you're looking at about 2.5 hours. So there's different ways you can look at this. So I'll tell you how I would look at it. I look at it in the sense of, because I've got my own operator's license, I would have, if a customer come to me with that kind of job, I would charge them probably double what Uber's offering. I would have charged I probably would have charged about £280 at least. Yeah. So almost double, which would have made it worth doing. Because bearing in mind, Uber's basically saying that's a 2.5 hour job. Now, anybody with a brain cell knows that on a Saturday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you are not going to get to Birmingham in 2.5 hours. And then you're certainly not going to get back within 5 hours. It's not going to happen. You've got all the holiday traffic going up and down the motorway, all, you know, going away, obviously, with it being bank holiday. You know, crashes. Then you get down to Birmingham, where it's rammed all past, you know, Spaghetti Junction and everything. You're not going to do it. If you were absolutely, like, really lucky, I reckon you get there and back in 6 hours. And that's pushing it, to be honest. So if you go off the Uber specs, which are never true, 150, let's just say you ignored the miles and you're just looking at the hours. So Uber's saying 150 there and back. Basically you're going to be on £30 an hour. So yeah, you might look at that and go, well, that's a good rate, which it is. £30 an hour is good. You know, if you're just shooting there and back. However, you then need to bear in mind it's then going to be 250 miles. So basically you're running for what, 50 pence a mile, thereabouts. So I mean, I wouldn't run for 50 pence a mile, and I've got an EV, so yeah, I just wouldn't do it. A more realistic figure would be you might do that in about 6 hours, so then you're looking at about £25 an hour, which again, still decent rate for during the day. You know, you're on £25 an hour. You know, you could look at it and say, well, I'm going to set off now at 2 o'clock. I'll be back in your area. Sorry, my fridge is making a bit of a vibrating noise. Yeah, you could see it as well. If that's 6 hours, 2 o'clock now, I'll be back here for 8 o'clock, and I've done 150 quid. I just don't see it as that. I just see it as, if you're lucky, it's gonna do 6 hours. I'm gonna put 250 miles on my car. Yeah, but let me know in the comments if you would run to Coventry for £148.28. Bearing in mind you need to get back as well, and then you might think, oh, well, yeah, I might get something back from Birmingham. You're not. I'm telling you that for a fact. So since August, so you know, it's what 10 months, 9 months. That's the biggest job that I've seen on Uber. Kind of like distance wise, you know, I've done jobs for Uber which are like £85, which was going like 10 miles. So you know, when you kind of look at the ratio difference on that, it's staggering, because that's £148 for 121 miles. So it's ridiculous. And like I said, maybe if you're just an Uber driver and you don't have your own operator's license, you would probably look at that job a lot differently from how I look at it, because I look at that and think, oh, I feel sorry for the person who's going to do that, because I would get paid double that amount. But then also comes, you have to then take into mind what type of vehicle you're driving. Obviously, if you've got a diesel, you're going to get there and back. You don't have to stop to fuel. If you've got a hybrid, yeah, possibly you're gonna do your 250 miles. If you've got an EV, a full EV, highly unlikely. In this, definitely not. I would have to stop on the way down to get a little top up. So on Uber, I don't even know how that would work, because how do you turn around to the passenger and say halfway down to Birmingham or Coventry, oh, by the way, I'm pulling in at a rapid charger now for like 20 minutes? You know, is that the driver's fault, or is it the customer's fault, or is it Uber's fault? Because like when I've signed up to Uber, they know I'm driving a full EV, but at no point have they said to me, oh, you need to put in what your total range is. So for example, if I put in motorway miles, I can do 110 miles, then Uber would know not to offer me jobs that are more than 110 miles, for example, because they know that the customer would be delayed. But that's not my fault, because Uber haven't asked me. And then it's not the customer's fault, because the customer's just booking an Uber X. They don't know what's going to turn up. So yeah, like, would I have done that job? Yeah, if the job turned round and it was like 250 quid, 260 quid, I would have done it. I would have set off, and I then would have told the customer, oh, by the way, I'm going to have to stop off on the way down for like 20-30 minutes to get a top up. That's on them. You know, they could have cancelled the job or whatever. Obviously, it would then increase, because obviously you parked up for like 20-30 minutes. Again, I don't know how that's going to work. Like, I've done longer private jobs than that. But obviously the customer is aware that you have to stop to top up on the way down. But yeah, I've done a job which is like kind of slightly more miles than that. It was about 150 miles to get there, so it was like 300 there and back. Granted, I was there for the day because I had to wait round for them, but you know, I charged £800. So you know, this is what I'm comparing it to. I see jobs like that, which is, I look at that like how people look at £3.50 jobs on Uber, and they're like, you having a laugh? That's how I'm looking at that. Like, why would I do that? It's just not paid enough for me. But like I said, it's whatever your cup of tea is. Somebody might look at that, think, happy days, I'm going to run down, going to smash that, get back in 6 hours, and that's me for the day, 150 quid. But they're the type of people that don't look past the end of the nose. They don't look at the running cost. They don't look at the wear and tear on your tyres and your vehicle. They just see it as they get home, go, oh yes, I got 150 quid. And then they're wondering at the end of the month or the following month, oh, I need new tyres. Oh, bloody hell, that's another 400-500 quid. And they're wondering why they're not getting anywhere. You're not getting anywhere because you're doing all these silly jobs. But you know, it's one of them. It's you either do them and learn from your mistake, or I know a lot of drivers, to be honest, who just don't learn from the mistake. They just keep doing stupid jobs over and over again. And every time I speak to them, they're saying, oh, yeah, I've done this and I've done that and I've had to run all the way over there. And I'm like, well, why are you doing it? And they're like, oh, well, no other jobs come up. And I'm like, yeah, so do something else for a living. Like, because otherwise you're going to sit there for the rest of your life moaning that the jobs are crap. Like, I can't see the jobs ever improving. You know, you get some days that are good, some days that are bad, but you know, it is what it is. Like, I know I'll come on here at times and I might come across as like, or you might sit there thinking, can at least he's moaning again. It's not so much moaning, I'm just pointing out, this is what I'm actually doing, this is what I'm seeing. So you can sit there and think, oh yeah, I'm experiencing something similar to yourself because you're a driver, or you're thinking about becoming an Uber driver. Because that's what I done before I signed up to Uber and got my private hire licence, my operator's licence and whatnot. I watched other videos to see what other people were doing and kind of what to expect in that. So that's basically what to expect. You know, Uber's willing to pay 148 quid for doing a 250 mile 5 to 6 hour round trip, which to me, I wouldn't do that. But that's why I said, you know, pop a little message in the comments below and just let me know if you would do it and what and the reason why you would do it. It'd be interesting to see. So yeah, that's about it. Just gonna go back online now. I came up before and it was blowing a gale and everything, so I thought, I went back inside to get my hoodie, stuck my hoodie on, and now it's 20 degrees now. I'm roasting. So another little job here, might as well do it because there's nothing else going on. Yeah, so I'll so quick little update. It's now 7:30. I haven't really stopped, to be honest. Last update was, well, I've only done one update, that was at 3 o'clock. Yeah, it's just been pretty much back to back with jobs. So where was we? 3, done the updates. Next job was 3:20. It was Ormskirk to Southport, £11.54. It was a 12-minute job going 4 miles. I had to run a couple of miles to it. Dropped them off and then got a Southport back to Ormskirk, which was £11.33. 21-minute job, and that was 8 miles. I then had an Ormskirk to Skelmersdale, £7.54. 11-minute job going 5 miles. I then started heading back towards Ormskirk. Got a job there which was Ormskirk to Ormskirk, including a £2 tip. It was £10.71. 6-minute job going 1.9 miles, but I did run a couple of miles back from Skelmersdale to Ormskirk. I then got another Ormskirk back to Skelmersdale again, so that was £7.49. 11-minute job, and that was 4.8 miles. I then got an XL which was Bearscough to Ormskirk, £11.30. 8-minute job going 3 miles. I then got an XL from Skelmersdale to, it's right on the outskirts of St Helens, it was on the bypass there. That was a surge job, XL, £14.88. That was a 10-minute job going 4.5 miles. I then got, including a £2 tip, from Skelmersdale back to the same pub. It was somebody's 30th, so I took a group of 6 and I went back to get another group of 5. That was £14.36. That was a 9-minute job going 3.9 miles. I then got another job whilst I was in Skem. Picked a couple up from Asda. That was £8.18. 7-minute job going 2.8 miles. I then got, because I was then around the outskirts of Skem/Wigan, a Wigan to Wigan job, an XL, including a £1 tip. That was £12.41. 8-minute job going 3.4 miles. And then I've just got a job from Wigan. I say Wigan, it's kind of parbold, so it's right on the outskirts of Wigan, coming into Ormskirk town centre. I dropped that other XL group off at the pub round the corner, and then this guy booked me and he was just round the corner. Because he even said, "Oh, have you just been to such and such a pub?" I was like, "Yeah." So you could see on the map, even though it didn't tell him what, you know, what the exact location of where I was. That was £8.94. That was a 14-minute job going 6 miles back into Ormskirk. So up to now, I've done 14 trips, 4.5 hours drive. Not 4.5, 4 hours 55, so just shy of 5 hours. I've been online for 5.5 hours, or I've been out, should I say. And I'm on 143.87, so it's working out at about £26.15 an hour. So it's quite good, to be honest, up to now. Been quite busy. Yeah, nothing really too hectic, or just trying to think of, no, that's about it really. That last couple who just got in, they were asking about like airport runs and that. They said they were going to message me. She said, she was laughing, she said, my mum's going to the airport, she's taking away her kids, and it was her job to book the airport transfer. She said, I normally use some of the lads in Liverpool because they've got the V classes. She said, but they normally just do funerals and stuff like that. She said, so they don't normally, they're like, they won't do airport runs in them cars. So she took a card and that, but basically her mum's flying out from Birmingham. She said, I don't know why she's booked that. She said it was probably like 20 quid cheaper, and then she hasn't thought of the logistics. She said, because I turned around to her and said, Mum, how are you going to get there? She said, because there's 5 of yous with all your luggage, that's not going to fit in one car. She was like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that. So she's asked for Thursday. I said if she wants to send me a message, but it'd be touch and go. I'm just waiting for another confirmation on Thursday. So till now on Thursday at midnight, which is like Wednesday night, Thursday morning, I'm going back to pick a lady up from Manchester Airport to take her back to Liverpool. So I'm not going to get back there till like 1:30 if I'm lucky. And then after go on a rapid charger for a little bit, then head to Southport to pick up a group for 4 o'clock to take them to Manchester Airport. So I'll be there for 5. And then I'm free then until 5 o'clock. I've then got another booking. Well, I'm just waiting for her to pay. Taking a group to the Co-op Arena in Manchester and then bring them back. That's a decent paying job. So I don't know if my mum does book in, because I think she said they need to be down there for about 10 or 11 o'clock. So it's possible I might be able to take you and basically take them down to Birmingham Airport and get back in time for the 5 o'clock in Southport to get them to Manchester. So basically it'd be like 1, 2, 3, be like 4 private jobs in the one day, which would be like bloody hell, 5, 6, 7. I don't know. It'd be like a good like 800 quid or something at least. I haven't properly priced the Birmingham one yet, to be honest, but even she even said herself, like she said, because obviously she knows roughly what it is to get to like Manchester Airport from roughly this area. It's like 150 and stuff like that. She said, like, because she was talking to her husband who was in the back. She said, oh, I don't even think my mum like thinks of these things. She said, like, you know, she might have saved like 20-30 quid flying from Birmingham. She said, but now it's going to cost her like £500 return to get to Birmingham Airport, which, to be fair, it probably would. Because I think we were talking about that job this morning, weren't we? I've still got the screenshot. Coventry. And that is 121 miles. So it probably wouldn't be too far off what she was saying, to be honest. Yeah, pretty much banged on, to be honest. It would probably be about 500 quid for me to take them from where they were to return. Birmingham would be about 500. So yeah, at least she's kind of prepared for that, and she kind of knows what they cost as well, because she's used to always booking these V-Class lads apparently. The guy was really keen on buying an EV, so he was asking what one I had, which is the Audi e-tron, and he said he's actually been in one of them. His wife used to have a Tesla, she said, but when they like first come out, she said, and she had to give it up because at that point there wasn't really much of like a Tesla network for recharging and whatnot, so she gave it up in the end. So he was asking me like what sort of range I get on mine and stuff like that, and so yeah, we're having a chat, and he was surprised this was full electric as well, because he was saying like why is it did I choose this and not like a V-Class, which obviously most people pick, and I said like to get a similar spec out from this in the V-Class you're looking at like 70, 75. I said, so basically you could go and buy 3 of these for the price of that, and I could basically have this at home, come out on it, and when it's flat take it home, put it on charge, come out in the next one and I could just do that. Or basically you could have one eVTOL. So he was kind of laughing. He was like, yeah, I see your point. I said, like, because what like a lot of the drivers do, they'll go out because you can pick V-Classes up for 10 grand, and then they just slap a private number plate on it. So when you look at it, you're kind of thinking, kind of looks a bit old, but you've got no idea. You don't know that V-Class is like over 10 years old. It's only when you get in and you realise the leather is like all shiny and it's flat, kind of stuff. So it's kind of like you'll see a lot of people, because I've been in them myself whether it's been like an airport job or Uber and whatnot. People say, oh yeah, we've got these lovely V-Classes, and I think you just naturally think, oh, it's going to be a brand spanker V-Class, or 12 months old or something, and it's not. They're like 10-year-old things, little diesel rickety things, and so it's almost kind of like false advertising, really. You're expecting pure kind of class, and it's not, and that's why Uber's cottoned onto it now, and basically they're taking all the V-Classes off the comfort and the executive and everything. I think unless they fall into like a certain age bracket of like X amount of years, because they realise that's what people are doing. They're going out, getting a 10 grand V-Class, and then you were able to qualify for everything, XL, executive, comfort, and obviously people have gone in them, whether it obviously be people higher up at Uber, and they thought, hang on a second, this doesn't fall into the categories that we actually want it to fall into. So they're starting to stamp that out, which is good in a way, to be fair, because it's like all I can class as is XL. Obviously, you get me X and me X priority, and that's it. And I'm thinking, this doesn't even classify as a comfort. It's got all like heated, massaging, reclining, full leather seats and everything. It's just as nice as like a V-Class inside, but it doesn't classify as anything else, which is a shame. But like I said, I just see it as well. It's an XL. It is what it is. I can't see me getting many executive work anyway. I know some other executive drivers, and they say like they're lucky if they get one executive job per month. So it's I think that's more like Manchester city centre or London kind of thing, where people are booking them. I've been down to London myself when I've been on the Uber app, and I'd always booking an executive, couple of quid more, and you know you're going to get an executive car, like a nice Mercedes S-Class and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just not too popular up here in the northwest anyway. So yeah, where am I? Let me turn my engine on. I think I need to go on charge. Yeah, it's got 24 miles left, so just going to see where the nearest one is. I was up near that charging point that I used the other day, but it was somebody was on it when I dropped off. It was like Wigan or like Parbold where I charged up when I was at Millen and Carter. They had a 50 kilowatt one there, but someone was on it obviously, and they've gone into the restaurant, so they'll just leave it there now until they come out, because I think you can stay on it for like, I think it's 90 minutes, and then they'll add a £10 fee on. I wish they were all like Tesla, so when you charged up a Tesla will then charge you £1 a minute for every minute that your car's plugged in, which is great because it gets rid of people. Everywhere else you go, it's basically like that one there, that BP one. You might only need a top up for half an hour, but then you can stay with it plugged in for an hour and a half until they charge you a tenner. So yeah, I'm in Ormskirk, and these BP ones are all crap. They're 7 kilowatt, which I might as well go home because that's a 7 kilowatt one there. Just trying to see where the next nearest one is. There's 7 kilowatt. They're like 5 minutes away. It's kind of like, it's a pain. It's like Formby or back to Skem. I went to a BP garage in Skem before because I've seen them charging stations there for like the past like year. I thought I need to try one of them, and I remembered it's obviously BP, and I've got the BP card. So I pulled up in the bay, went on the app. I thought, why is it not showing up on here? And the charging stations at the BP petrol station are EV point, and then the BP chargers are 2 streets away, and the 50 kilowatt. I'm thinking, why have BP allowed a different company to come in? Why aren't they just running their own ones there? So yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna go and find a charger, or I might go back online a bit and do, because I've still got 25 miles. So, I could easily pick up a job which might take me towards a destination. Like, I could pick someone up now which would take me to Formby, for example, and then jump on charge, rather than me just driving all the way there empty. So, I'll go and have a little look anyway. You don't want to watch that because that's boring, and I'll... So, the time is 1:30, and I've just got home. I honestly haven't had time to to do any updates. It's just been job after job after job non-stop. When I left off before, it was around 7:30. I was in Ormskirk and I was heading towards Formby to go to the BP recharge. It was about, I think it was like an 18-minute drive away, something like that. So I set the filtered destination just in case I picked anything up on the way. But it was coming up with like 2 or 3 jobs popped up, but they were ahead of me to pick them up. But then they wanted me to do a complete U-turn and head back like towards Ormskirk. So I don't know how that's supposed to be on the way to your destination if you're going back on yourself. So I ended up just logging off because it was just winding me up. So I got to the charger, I think it was around 8 o'clock, something like that. Went on charge, came off charge pretty much bang on 9 o'clock. Started heading towards kind of Southport. I thought I might have got something kind of like Formby, because you normally do if you're down that way, but it didn't. So the next job after that 7:30 one was 9:15. It was a £5.72. It was a little 7-minute job going 2.4 miles. I then waited probably, what was that, 15-20 minutes for my next job to come through. Started to go really slow. I think I was on the phone to the wife and I said to her, like, it's just gone dead, like, all of a sudden. And I was actually like contemplating coming home, because then I got a £3.93 for a 6-minute job, 1.9 miles. Then got a £4.14 3-minute job, 1.1 miles. Then got a job, started heading towards it, customer cancelled. Then got another job, started heading towards it, and the guy messages me and says, I've got 2 dogs, is that alright? So I had to pull in, message him back and said, no, it's not alright. I said, that's why they have Uber Pet, so order an Uber Pet. People don't want to pay the extra, because obviously Uber Pet costs more, so they just prefer to order an X and hope that the driver's going to take them and they're going to save like £1 or something. So then he messages me back and he was like, sack it then, which basically, if you're not familiar with the Scouse lingo, basically means it doesn't matter, cancel it then, you know, leave it. So I messaged him back and I'm trying to help him, you know what I mean? I'm saying, look, if you cancel it quick enough, you won't get charged. If you don't cancel it, you're going to get charged for the job. So I pulled in for a second waiting for him to cancel it, and he wasn't cancelling it. So I thought, right, okay, I'm just going to drive towards you, which I've done in the past. I've sat outside the person's house, the clock has started, and then basically I've then been able to cancel the job and charge them the cancellation fee. So I started driving towards it, and I was nearly there because I was only like 2 or 3 minutes away from him anyway when he booked it. And then he obviously realised, oh, this guy's driving over towards me, and then he cancelled the job. But I didn't get anything for it, even though, you know, I'd spent like, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes on the job. After that, still in Southport, I got a Southport to Southport XL, £6.86, 3-minute job, 1.1 miles. Then I got a 624, that was an 8-minute job, 3.5 miles. Then a £5.17, 4-minute job, 1.6 miles. Including a £1 tip, and £8.68, 3-minute job going 0.9 of a mile. I think that's the one I ran a couple of miles to. It was one of them jobs where it was paying, you know, like £7.68, but you had to run like 3 miles or something to it. But then it was a 0.9 of a mile job, so as quick as they got in, I think he'd hardly put a seatbelt on and then dropped them off again. So it was like, it's not too bad, them kind of jobs. Then got a £6.82, that was a 10-minute job for 3.7 miles. Then got another XL, £6.37, 3-minute job going 0.8 of a mile. I then got it was a Southport to Bersco. So I thought, oh, happy days, because this was like just gone 11 o'clock. I thought it's going to get me back down this way. I'm starting to feel, not tired, but I was kind of thinking, oh, I've had enough now, and I've got my other private booking in about 10 hours. It's not too bad. So I was thinking, I'll get back down here, do a couple of little jobs and then carry on. So anyway, I took that. It was an XL. Gave me a £5 tip as well, so I got £23.88. It was a 15-minute job going 6.6 miles. So it was a good rate on that. Like, including with the tip, I was obviously upped it, but it worked out about £4 a mile. As I dropped them off, I then got a little job on Ormskirk, £8.98. It was an 8-minute job going 2.3 miles. Where this guy lived, when you got in, he said, oh, do you know my road? I said, no, so it's only give a postcode. And he was like, all right. He said, we live on this really remote road. There's only like 20 houses on it, and basically we're responsible for the upkeep of the road. He said, and it hasn't been done for like, I don't know, 50 years or something. He said, so there's big massive potholes and all that. He said, so just drive down it, and like when you feel like you've had enough, just let us know, we'll get out and walk from there. So anyway, I've gone to this road that I've been to the other end of that road once, and I turned down it, seeing it, because the Uber Maps was telling me to go down it. I thought there's not a chance I'm driving down there, and done a U-turn and come back out. So this road goes on for like 1.5 miles, and you've got to drive like 5 miles an hour down it. That's how bad the road is, all bumps and everything. Dropped them off. Yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. I think I might have a bit of footage on there that I can stick on. And then after that, a job popped up, which was just round the corner. It was an Ormskirk going back to Southport again. It was £16.29. It was taking 25 minutes for 12 miles. So I kind of thought, well, I'll do it, because you know it's like 16 quid and it's less than half an hour. So I done that anyway. Dropped them off in Southport, and then at this point it was like I think it just gone midnight, and then I thought, right, I'm gonna start slowly heading back now. And then an XL job popped up, which was Southport to Formby, £29.06. It was a 22-minute job going 10 miles. So I thought, well, that's not too bad, because if you don't know Southport, obviously it's a little bit slow once you're in it, but then once you pop out the other side, you're on like the Formby bypass, so it's just a bypass all the way down for probably half of that journey, and then just drop them off in Formby. So it was quite a cushy job. Like I said, it was like 30 quid. And then I was down there, and I was thinking, at this point I'm now like 40 minutes away from my house. I thought, oh, I hope I get something from here which is going to get me back. And just as I pulled off from there, I got a job which was Formby going back to Southport, including a £1 tip. That was £11.43. 13-minute job, 6.6 miles. So that basically got me halfway back. And then after that, it was, what time was it then? It was like, what time was it? It was like nearly 1:30. Oh no, it was just before that, about 1:15. And then just started heading back. So yeah, well, it wasn't too bad, to be honest. I haven't had any like major issues or anything. It's just been taken over quite good, to be honest. What's that? I took a screenshot of. I took a screenshot of that for some reason, but there's nothing really on it that's jogging me memory. Oh yeah, there was one. That was it. I was in Ormskirk, and I was heading to Formby to go on the charger, and I got a job which was in Formby. It was a Formby to Formby, so it was saying it was going to take me 18 minutes to get there, and this was like a 1-minute job, and it was paying like a fiver or something ridiculous. So it was like 50p a mile. But I thought, well, I'm driving to Formby anyway to go on the charger, so I thought I'll accept it, because if I don't accept it, it goes against your acceptance rating. And I thought, there's no way the customer's going to wait 18 minutes to be picked up. So yeah, so I accepted it, and after about 2 minutes the customer cancelled, because they thought, I'm not waiting 18 minutes for this guy to drive all the way to Formby. He must have been thinking, is he off his head driving all this way for a fiver? But like I said, it was more of a case of I'd done it because I knew you were going to cancel. So where are we? Yeah, I've done more than I thought, to be honest. So I came on Uber at 2 o'clock, finished at 1:30. Is that right? Oh yeah, so I've deducted the hour charge. So I've done 10 hours basically, and I've done £287.44. The trips haven't updated for some reason, the number of trips or the drive time. Before, I think it said that I had about an hour of drive time left, so a little like an hour more than last Saturday, because I got it down last Saturday to about 4 minutes, and I was dying to to run out of time. But yeah, if I would have started today at around midday like I did last week, which is what I wanted to do, I probably would have beat last week's. Well, saying that, it would have been close because last week's was 3:45, and this week's I'm on 2:87. Yeah, so it probably would have been about similar, to be honest. I can give you the breakdown. Yeah, so that 287 over the 10 is working out at £28.70 an hour I've averaged. So if I would have got the extra 2 hours in, which would have given me like the other 60 quid, I would have finished on almost exactly the same as what I did last Saturday. So yeah, all in all, not too bad of a shift. Yeah, there's nothing really else I can add to it. I've got 11 miles of charge left, so that was kind of like good timing. And that's about it. So I'm going to be coming out tomorrow. I've got a private job, picking them up at 12:30. They only live about 5-10 minutes away max, taking them to Liverpool Airport. So I'll be coming out, taking them, dropping them off for about 1:30, and then I'll be going on Uber from 1:30, and then I'll be staying out again pretty much all day and all night. With it being the bank holiday, I'm assuming it's going to be busy. A lot of people tonight who have picked up, I've heard them all talking, saying, oh yeah, I'm going to be out tomorrow, yeah, I'm going to be out and whatnot. The last couple of bank holidays have all been really crap, so I'll see what happens. I'll come out. If it's busy, I'll stay out. If it's crap, I'll come home, the usual. Yeah, and that's about it, really, to be honest. What else happened? I don't know if I updated you before. I think I did. I can't remember if I mentioned the woman before who's asked me. Someone will message me, I think I did, message me asking about the airport run. Did she get back to me? I haven't had a chance to check. No, she hasn't messaged me back yet. I think I mentioned it before. She's messaged because her mum had booked to take her and her family. I'm sure I mentioned it before. They're flying out from Birmingham Airport on Thursday. She was like, is there any chance you'll be able to fit me mum in with the kids and everything, because there's 5 of them. So I was like, I'll have a look and get back to you. So I've messaged her. I think I might be able to do it. I've got a booking which is like 12:30, bringing them back from Manchester Airport, and then taking a group at 4 o'clock to Manchester Airport, and then I'd have to come back and pick these up at around 9 o'clock, get them down to Birmingham for about 11:30, 12 o'clock, and then I would be back up here for about 3 maybe, get on a rapid charger till 4, and then I need to pick some customers up at around 5 o'clock to take them back to Manchester again. So yeah, it's pushing a little bit, but it is what it is. You can either take it on or don't, but they're all really good paying jobs. So yeah, I'll see what happens anyway, see if she gets back to me, and that's about it. So I'll catch you on tomorrow's video.